Hey, how's it going, fellow Trojans and loyal vassals? Today we're going to be taking a look at Superman based off his appearance in Batman v Superman. Yes, I should also mention this is a Mafex figure, Medicom Toys product line of product. 6-inch figures, I believe. They're not 5-inch. I also have Batman right here. I guess I'll be doing a part 2. Here's a quick glimpse. Bam! There's a quick, just a quick taste. I will be doing a part 2 of that, going over the slight differences, mainly the accessories and the sculpt between the two. I have a feeling that someone at Mafex or Medicom Toys has a slight bias towards Batman because I feel like he came with a little bit more and whatnot. Anyways, I guess I should also start off and say that whenever it comes to Mafex figures, I always have quality control issues. Maybe I just have bad luck. I mean, I was willing to let go, or I was willing to forgive them on the first 2 releases, which were Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Batman the Dark Knight. I let it slide only because it was their first line of figures. The quality wasn't going to be up to par with other like Figmas or SH Figuarts, so I let it slide. But we're 18, this is the 18th Mafex figure, and we're still having quality control issues. Now maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just having bad luck up to this point. I don't know, but there are some minor things to note about this Superman. But again, this is probably just my figure. Maybe it's not going to happen to yours, but it's just something to look out for. We'll get over this. I'll talk about this cape, I guess, last because it is a little bit interesting. But starting off aesthetically, I'll say this. This guy looks amazing. Hold on, let me get focused real quick. There you go. Blam! This guy aesthetically looks freaking amazing. It has a very metallic look to it, and I would say that the face sculpt resembles a strong likeness to the actor. Again, only having seen trailers, because I actually haven't seen the movie yet, believe it or not. Mixed reviews from what I heard, but Ben Affleck plays a pretty mean Batman from what I heard. Anyways, that's besides the point. Just take a good look at it. No paint slops whatsoever, except after the neck he actually does have, it's some minor, and I don't know if you can see it, there's right there. It's some slight paint smudges going on. Aside from that, I think the face sculpt is really good. So yeah, in terms of articulation, there are a few areas I will point out where the quality control is a little off. But starting at the head, he has a double ball jointed head, which he can move practically anywhere. Check this out. Look at that. Look at that. Look how far. But that's without even using this part of the neck. And with it, he can get quite a bit more. He can't look down too much because if he does, uh-oh, quality control issues. Yeah, so that happens. But again, probably just for mine. There seems to be no friction at all, or at least not enough to hold them together. And it's very slight. Anyways, that's one thing. It's not that bad as long as I don't put too much force looking down or up. It should be fine. After the deltoids, he does have ball joints right there on a hinge connected to the deltoid. The bicep is on a cut right here, and as you can see, another quality control, his left, sorry for hitting the camera. His left bicep is relatively loose, not too much, but really what bothers me is the gap. If you can see between this one, there is no gap, but this one, there is. You see it? You see it? Now you can't unsee it. So there's that, slightly bothersome. He has a double jointed elbow and a regular hinge wrist. And if you can kind of tell, again, quality control, his wrist is actually not the same color as his actual hand or skin tone. Which, by the way, I guess I should also mention, his skin tone is not actually this yellowish. This is actually only because of the lighting that I have. It kind of makes it look a little bit yellowish. It's actually more pink, slightly pinkish, a little bit of both, pinkish and yellow. But that's just because of my lighting. It makes it look yellowish. But anyways, the coloration is slightly off here. So yeah, there's that. At the chest, he has a double ball joint. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have much of an upper crunch, but he can move it quite a bit. Look at that. Look at that. magnificent. So I guess he can get some pretty good punch poses going on. He can arch his back quite a bit, and combined with the ball joint at the lower part of the abdomen, he can get a very impressive arch. So if you wanted to have him doing flying poses, no problem. But unfortunately, he does not have much of an ab crunch. See if I can kind of... That's pretty much all you're getting. Little disappointing, but again, maybe Superman isn't meant to make... Maybe Superman wasn't meant to ab crunch. I don't know. That's pretty much as far as you're getting. If I apply any more force, then the actual joint here is going to pop off. Let's see if I can go... it's a little bit... Okay, that's better. Anyways, moving on. At the lower part of his body, much like SH Figure Arts, he does have ball joints on the legs. And again, quality control issues. His leg is loose. That's probably one of the worst things that could happen to a figure, is a very loose leg. Look at that. So there's that. And secondly is that, I guess I might as well show you. You can pull it down, much like SH Figure Arts, to get a little bit more range of motion. As you can see right here, there is an unsightly gap right there at the leg right there, and it's not supposed. I don't think it's supposed to be like that. I think it's supposed to be like this, where it's together. See that? There's no gap. There is a gap. I think it's supposed to be like this rather than this. So there's that, and I don't want to actually apply any more force. I'm kind of worried I might break it. There's that. He has double jointed knee. Impressive. And I believe a ball joint at the ankle and a toe hinge. Now unfortunately he cannot, his ankles just cannot support him in any kind of pose, or maybe yeah, no, his ankles cannot really support him too much. Let's see if I can get a decent pose out of you real quick. Alright, well that'll work. But his ankles are like very like not rigid or like hard. They should be like stiff relatively, but they're very loose, and it makes it so that if you're having him in certain positions, standing in certain positions, he won't support his weight. I mean, it also doesn't help that my thigh ball joint is very loose, so everything just kind of like flops all over the place. So he definitely does need a stand to pose. Thankfully, he does come with one. I'll show you in a bit, but yeah, there's that. I'll show you the cape last. As for accessories, he does not come with much. He came with these two pairs of hands. These are like gripping hands, and a secondary set of hands, much like those hands, but they're more wider. These are open palm hands, and to show you that I'm not crazy, here is the differences. See that? There's that, and a secondary head where he is emitting, I can only assume, anger or laser blast, what have you. And I think it looks pretty good. So that's pretty much all he came with. I kind of wish he came with more hands, but then again, I wouldn't really know much about the character to know exactly what hands he would be appropriate, or face plates for that matter. Moving on to the cape, I guess I should say, or yeah. So Mafex does this whole cape thing with their figures rather than having it with plastic, kind of like SH Figure Arts does, or any other mainstream toy company, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. No, actually, no, I guess American companies do use cloth or material for their capes. But in terms of like, I guess SH Figure Arts, I'm just going to use that as an example. They use a hard plastic for capes, and I don't like it. And I prefer the actual material. That's just me. However, you run the risk of making it look good or bad, determined on the final product. And unfortunately, the final product isn't up to par. Like, so tell me what you think looks wrong about this angle. Not seeing it? Let me pull out the box and show you real quick. Notice how on this Superman the cape is actually behind his deltoids like that, or like this, or like that, and it looks very perfectly kept and neat and right behind him. It's not all over the place. It's like hovering above his deltoids. And I would have really preferred if it was like, you know, like the actual box like that. That looks really good. I like it like that. And the solution could have been if they use metal wires or bendable metal wires, which they do, but it's only at the bottom part of the cape. And I kind of wish they included it on this part of the cape, because that could have gone a long way if you wanted to bend it. To put it behind him like that, I don't know, that would have been way better than having it like this, because it's all over the place and messy. Speaking of the metal parts, so right here, like I said, he does have bendable metal stuff. I don't even think it's metal, I'm just saying that because it came to my mind. But it did not come scrunched up like this. I had to manually do this because, or it doesn't even tell you that you have to do this, because it came out in the package all like spread out like that, and it made it very uncomfortable or frustrating, that's the word, when I tried to pose them for the first time. It wasn't until I scrunched it up like this and then everything became more like, you know, kept. Because if you have it spread out, it goes quite a bit, and I would have preferred if they just also had a metal piece or a bendable plastic right here. But that's just me. Overall, aesthetically, he's an amazing looking figure. Pretty damn good. It's just, you know, again, the quality of the figure is going to vary from figure to figure. Moving on, I'll show you Batman, go a little bit more into detail of the it's only slight variations. Specifically though, in the accessories, it's that part is pretty big of a difference. Superman, would you care to show us some of your poses in the slideshow? Do 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 do